Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another discussion today. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am in my kitchen. G and I just went for a nice, snow walk up at Jay Peak, and it was really good. It's a snuggly day, and I'm so excited to talk about success is an inner process. It is on the inside. It's not something we get or acquire from out here. That is just not the way it goes. And I'm inspired by a couple of people today. First, Wayne Dyer. Probably might mention Mel Robbins. She's my new one. Not today new, but new enough. So first of all, Wayne Dyer, one of the greatest spiritual thinkers ever. Oh my gosh. Talks about success being an inner process, and when we realize that, we sort of make a shift from appearances to what he would say a more quality of life. And so appearances meaning, the needs are out here, so we need approval, right? So when the approval needs are out here, that means they have to be filled by whoever we need the approval from for us to feel okay. Think about that. We don't want any needs out here, or we're uncomfortable, right? Because we don't have the control or the autonomy to fill those needs ourselves. And sort of ironically, it seems that the people who get the most approval care the least about it. And there are all kinds of people out there talking about this, not just with approval, but with anything. With most things, not anything, with most things. When we cease to care, it kind of lands in our laps. It's just how it works. And so when we're seeking out approval, it's not healthy. It has us uncomfortable, even possibly incapacitated, depending on what the need for approval is when it's out here. And that's it. It's just not really a great way to live. We're not going to be our highest vibe selves when we're constantly seeking approval. Now, does that mean approval doesn't feel good? Of course, of course it feels good, obviously. So it feels good, when people say nice things about my presentations. And I just had a really fun podcast the other night, and people said nice things about that. It feels so good. It feels, and it's kind. And when people are thinking of you, that feels good. It all feels good so much. But it's the difference is that we don't go looking for it. Not only do we not go looking for it, our self-worth, self-esteem, self-image, all that stuff isn't dependent on people checking our box. We got to check our own boxes. That's what we're talking about here. So, and then also when we have the approval meter on the outside, what we're saying in a pretty loud voice is that what so-and-so thinks of me is more important than what I think of me. And that never, ever, never, ever, never is not a word I use often because I don't use polarized words since they don't exist in reality for the most part. I'm going to say it there. Never, ever give someone that kind of power. No, it doesn't matter what they think over what you think of you, right? It's only important, really, what you think of you, and that whatever they think of you is absolutely not more important than what you think of yourself. Okay. And I made myself a couple of notes here. Okay, so we're talking about success being an inner process. And so this is where I want to bring in, I think it might be two people. It might be Mel Robbins, who I really like. I think she and I we are definitely energetic sisters. We are so much alike. And also, who else was talking about this? Abraham Hicks. It's kind of amazing that people are saying the same thing. All these really great thinkers are saying the same thing. And talking about when we plant a seed, and like an actual seed, this is going to be a metaphor in a minute, but right now, especially in Vermont, I think of farming and harvesting and all that. So when you plant a seed, I think this was Abraham talking about, the farmer doesn't, go and dig it up, a week later and say, how you coming along? Are you starting to sprout? No, you just know that the corn is going to happen when it's supposed to happen, late August, early September, right? That's how it works. So all too often, I think Mel was talking about this too. We plant the seed. We're starting to manifest desires. We like to run a marathon, and often people give up. I feel like there's somebody else talking about this too. Anyway, there's lots of people saying it. We often give up like right before stuff's about to really explode for us in our favor, whether it's the marathon or the job, or the promotion, or the travel, or the whatever opportunity, because we just aren't patient. And of course, anybody watching who knows me is probably saying, seriously, is she talking about patience? Because I've been given a lot of gifts in my gift bag, and patience is not one the good Lord threw in there. I'm just telling you that right now. So I'm a constant work in progress But I somehow that really resonated with me when Abraham Hicks was talking about that. Of course, you don't turn over the dirt in a week or 2 weeks and say, "How you coming?" Don't see any sprouts there. You just know what's going to happen. So that when we're trying to manifest our heart's desires on the inside, it's important not to uncover the seed and let it be. Keep watering it. The sun will keep bouncing on it, and take the weeds out and all that, but let it do its thing. So we get it on the inside. We want to leave the seed alone. And then what else do I have here? Oh, getting out of the crap, the junk. So I was talking about this a little bit in the last video, is that when we need to be in a place of non-resistance for success to happen, which means the things that can get in the way are self-doubt, okay, which is very related to the not feeling worthy, because if you're not feeling worthy, you don't know your own worth, you want to go right back and start at the beginning, because that's got to be in place. Got to be in place to be successful. You got to know your own worth. You've got to know that it's okay to ask for stuff, meeting your heart's desires. Maybe you love that partner to happen. Maybe you're with a great partner, you'd like the kids to happen. Maybe you are in a small apartment and you want the house to happen. Maybe you're in a house but you want a yard to happen. Whatever it is, but you've got to know your worth, because you've got to know that your worth. When the universe provides it for you, source, God, higher power, whoever, not going to happen if you don't feel like you deserve it. I mean, that's just how it goes. So we've got to get out the junk, get out the self-doubt, get out the all the feelings of unworthiness, and also all the dialogue of people telling you can't do it, or this would be better for you, or that's not really your gift, this is. You're always so good at this, why don't you do that? Well, computers is really where you make the money. Forget trying to be a teacher or be, graphic designer. No, just forget about all that, because this is where the money is. Don't give up. And you're in a job, maybe you're a young adult, maybe you're a seasoned adult, and your parents are still chiming in saying, why would you want to start your own business when you've got this solid salary and retirement benefits and all that? Like, why would you, when you're really stagnant and starting to border on miserable, not that people are being mean to you, but there's no flicker, there's no light there, and you need to get out. So scratch the itch. You don't need their freaking permission. You just need your own permission. So get out the junk. And then Wayne Dyer talks about, I was just talking about this in the last video, that instead of, I'll believe it when I see it, it's the reverse. Okay, we'll see it when we believe it. And this is the reason we've got to believe we've got it already. Like the feeling of getting that great phone call, the feeling of that, whatever opportunity, the feeling of your boss coming in and say, "Hey, I've got some good news for you. Want to go to lunch? We'll talk about it." And that's a promotion, and we're going to give you some money. We're going to give you some sexy business cards with a new title, blah, 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 blah. You've got to feel it so that you're not surprised and shocked. Doesn't mean you're not excited. Excited is different. But surprise sort of implies that you're not worth it or something. Like the universe doesn't, you got to be confident. Oh, and actually I was going to say that too, because there's a Thoreau quote that Wayne Dyer uses a lot. And I wrote this one down just to make sure I didn't, plagiarize anybody. And I'm really big fan of Thoreau. And Thoreau said, if you advance confidently in the direction of your dreams and endeavors, and endeavor to live the life you have imagined, you will meet a success unexpected in common hours. And he said something else about there. I couldn't read my own writing, to be honest with you, but there's something in it about being independent of the good opinion of others. I know is in there too. So advancing confidently, independent of the good opinion of others. I love that. And I think of a friend of mine who was a professor, now retired, and he had his evaluations from his students. They had him walking on water. He's one of the best professors ever. And he still chose not to read them, because even if there was one negative one, you tend to focus on that for one. But he said, I remember him talking to me about this. He said, even all the positive ones, he said, it's important to be independent of those, because that's not what we're in it for at all. We're going to make a difference in young adult lives, give our very best, and bring success every single class that we have, to bring success to those young adults and make a difference. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's nice that they say all positive things. That's really sweet and kind and thoughtful. But our trajectory is to do what we got to do, full throttle mission, bring success to those young adults, actively listen, give them our best educator stuff that we can muster up, and just do it with full-blown success. That is the idea. So he didn't read them. And so when Thoreau talks about being, going forward and advancing confidently in the, independently of the good opinion of others, I thought of him because it really is true. We like to hear it, it's fine, like we just said with approval, but we are independent of it. Doesn't matter. I'm in the flow zone. I'm doing what I love. I'm doing what I was put on this earth to do in connection with, it's God for me, but let's say source, higher power, whatever, if that's your thing. And because that connection is essential too, or there's no success going to happen like that. That's just how it goes. And I also like how he talks about, that independent of the good opinion of others was actually somebody other than Thoreau, but I forget who it is. I want to say it's Maslow. Anyway, doesn't matter. We got the point across. Okay, so limitless people. We talked about limitless people advancing confidently too, and being independent of the good opinion of others, because we're in the flow zone. That I'm for sure is a work of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, and we are in the zone. We are just in the zone when we're in the flow zone, doing what we love, bringing success to into our purpose, right? We often lose track of time because we feel at one with whatever it is we're doing. And we just there's nowhere else we'd rather be, no one else we'd rather be. We're just in it to win it from the inside out, that intrinsic motivation, which is where success emanates from. And we also, I love, because Wayne Dyer also talks about synchronicity, and I've talked about this before in relation to my friend Tom, because he did his whole dissertation in that. It's wild when we really tune into that inner voice, tuned in, tapped in, turned on. That Abraham Hicks likes to say that. When we're really focused on listening and being in receptive mode and hearing which direction we're supposed to go, it's amazing how those green lights start to show up. And my friend Tom talks about those green lights as, we're talking to God or the universe, whatever. The green lights is the universe of God talking back. Okay, I want you to go this way. I realize you like that, but wait till you see what I got for you over here. Instead of, obstinately trying to hang on to this thing, to really be open and listen. And then when the green light is when something just feels so right. My dear friend Oprah talks about that too, listening to the whispers, because you're in flow zone, when you're on the right path, your authentic high vibe path, when it just feels so right. Those are the green lights. And that is where success comes from. On the inside, from the divine connection, letting you know which way to go. All we really need to do is listen and follow it. That's how it goes. Okay, this is Kimberly Quinn signing off from the beautiful northern Vermont on this snowy day, which I love. It snow's my favorite. Have a mindful day.